Welcome to this explainer. Okay, today we are tackling a massive, honestly pretty exhausting frustration for advanced language learners. You know the drill. You can memorize every single verb chart, you absolutely nail every grammar quiz, and yet you still completely freeze the second you're in front of a real, authentic Spanish text. If that sounds familiar, trust me, you are totally not alone. Today, we're going to break down exactly why authentic reading feels so impossibly hard, and how a method we call the Summer Spanish Decoder can finally help you break through and completely transform your confidence in just 30 days. Let's get into it. This feeling right here validates exactly what you might be experiencing. You know the grammar perfectly, right? You know all the rules. But when you're handed an actual newspaper article or a page from a Spanish novel, your brain just stalls. It literally feels like you're staring at a complex cipher, and you just don't have the key. Well, in this explainer, we're going to show you how the Summer Spanish Decoder acts as that exact missing key. It's a 30-day solution designed to take you from completely frozen to incredibly fluent. Section 1. The problem. The gap between knowing and doing. So why is it that we often ace those grammar quizzes but struggle the minute Spanish gets real? Well, it's simple. Textbook Spanish, like grammar lists, is predictable. It relies on safe little drills and isolated rules. Authentic text, on the other hand, it's alive, it's messy, it's deeply cultural, and it's full of nuance. Your brain has essentially been trained for predictable drills, not actual decoding. The decoder method flips this entirely. Instead of treating reading as something you only do after you've somehow mastered all the grammar, we go text first. Meaning leads the way, and we let the grammar follow naturally. Section 2. Mini lesson. Authentic text to real decoding. Let's actually do a fast-paced mini lesson right now using a real authentic extract about youth unemployment in Spain. This is the exact kind of text AP and A-level students have to handle. Okay, here's our text. Aunque la economía mostraba signos de recuperación, las familias seguían luchando contra la subida imparable de los alquileres. Now, instead of immediately panicking over individual words you might not know, look at the architecture. The author immediately sets up a contradiction. Young Spaniards might be living in a recovering economy on paper, but in reality, families are fighting this unstoppable rise in rent. So this brings us to your very first, absolutely crucial decoding move: spotting contrast markers. When you see a word like aunque, even though, or a concept that is described as paradójico, that is a massive structural clue. It literally tells your brain, hey, heads up, a key contrasting idea is coming. You really don't need to know every single vocabulary word if you just understand the underlying contrast the author is setting up. Next up, the text usually shifts to evaluate this reality. You want to look out for evaluative language like precariedad, a structural precarity, or maybe phrases like no debería interpretarse como, which signals explicit criticism rather than celebration. Spotting these little evaluative clues is absolutely essential for grasping the author's tone, and honestly, that's exactly what examiners are searching for. Let's lock these steps in. Step 1. Spot the contrast markers. Step 2. Look for evaluative language to uncover the tone. Step 3. Connect it to the broader culture, like the long-term effects of the Spanish economic crisis and delayed independence for young people. This right here is how you interpret a text, rather than just painfully translating it word by word in your head. And interpreting, that is exactly what advanced exams demand from you. Section 3. Why text first works. Grammar becomes meaningful. Here's the magic of this. When you read real Spanish first, grammar completely stops being this boring, arbitrary list of rules and actually becomes a detective's tool. Your brain naturally starts to ask contextual questions. You see a weird verb ending, and instead of just groaning, you ask, wait a second, why is that subjunctive here? What tone is the author trying to create with that? Are they expressing doubt or maybe emotional frustration? Suddenly, the grammar is actually serving the meaning. You also start asking things like, what does this connector reveal about the argument? You begin to see that a word like sin embargo isn't just a basic vocabulary flashcard. It's a critical pivot point in a political debate. Questioning the text like this helps you determine the underlying argument and tone, keeping your brain completely engaged in active problem-solving mode. So, this is the entire flow of the decoder method. We always start with the authentic text. Then we apply our decoding moves. Next, we analyze the tone and structure. And finally, we look at the grammar in its natural context. This exact sequence builds the single most vital skill you can have for any language exam: tolerance for ambiguity. It teaches you how to just keep reading calmly, even when you don't know every single word on the page. Section 4. The 30-day challenge. Your daily reading ritual. Over 30 days, you are going to commit to decoding one short, authentic text every single day. Now, I know that might sound like a lot at first, but this active decoding ritual is perfectly designed to only take 20 to 30 minutes a day. It fits super easily into a busy summer schedule. It's all about frequency and consistency, not those exhausting 3-hour marathon study sessions that just burn you out. Let's quickly fire through the tangible benefits you get from doing this challenge. You're going to learn to handle unknown vocabulary without panicking, finally curing that dreaded vocabulary vertigo. You'll easily identify tone and argument structure. You will learn to selectively harvest meaningful vocabulary instead of hoarding hundreds of flashcards. You'll practice writing exam-ready responses. And ultimately, you will read faster, calmer, and with massive, undeniable confidence. Because remember, this isn't passive reading, it is active decoding. Section 5. Who it's for. Targeted exam preparation. Now, I want to be clear. This isn't just generic language advice. It is a highly targeted methodology. If you are preparing for AP Spanish Language and Culture, A-Level Paper 1 or 2, IB Text Handling, or a college placement exam, this challenge was built directly for you. It targets the exact interpretation, analysis, and evidence-based thinking skills that these specific advanced exams strictly demand. It trains you for the actual terrain of the test, not just the kiddie pool. Section 6. Start decoding. Stop memorizing, start understanding. If you are tired of feeling like real Spanish is this locked room you can't get into, well, it's time to finally grab the key. 30 days, 30 texts, a completely new way of reading Spanish that actually works. So what does this all mean for you? It means the texts are out there waiting for you, and now you know exactly what to do with them. Are you ready to finally crack the code of real Spanish? Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer, and happy decoding.